Are we live? We're live. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. This is Twist Gaming, where you get to play board games with us. This is our honest review section, where we talk about the game that we just spotlighted. And in this case, that is Gambler, a standalone gunslinger expansion by BC Games Company. And if you haven't done so, check it out. We did the spotlight earlier. Spoiler alert, Josh didn't win.
No. I lost the first round.
I didn't win either, so...
Hey guys, guess who won the first round?
Who won the first round of the first game?
First game. Who died in the first round?
I did. I was like over there for the whole time.
So we would like to point out that this stream and all of this week's streams are sponsored by Gambler, that is Gunslinger Expansion by BC Games Company. So first we're going to talk about what we liked about the game. So who wants to kick that off for us this evening?
And wants to.
I'm the wiener.
The wiener?
Okay.
Quote.
So Anne, tell us about what you liked about the game.
I really liked playing. Okay. So full disclosure here for our viewers watching this maybe on YouTube who haven't seen our full playthrough video and have not heard, but Gambler is a standalone expansion to the game Gunslinger, and we actually did get an opportunity to play Gunslinger early on, so it is important to know that because a lot of the mechanics and things that are in Gunslinger carry over to Gambler. So we don't really have a brand new, fresh eyes look into the game because we've played the previous game.
Right, it's not a brand new exposure to us.
Exactly. So with that being said, I really liked playing Gambler because I did really enjoy playing Gunslinger when we played it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Gambler has a lot more strategy to it. I mean, I like the Gambler and Gunslinger games. I really like I like when games don't have thinly veiled themes on them.
Right.
I like when you really see the theme in the game, and I think Gambler does an even better job than Gunslinger with doing that. And one of the examples that I brought up during our interview is like the bar drag card, which is an attack card that you can play. In this game, you use beer to replenish health.
Just like real life. Okay.
Or you just ignore the pain you have.
There, that makes more sense. I appreciate that.
So the way that this particular attack card plays is that you get hit with a point of damage for each beer that is out in play on the field. And basically, it's just like a story. What you're saying is you're picking up a guy, you're in a bar fight. The premise of this game is that you're in a bar fight.
How many mugs are lined up on the bar?
And you're sliding them through each one of the beer bottles as they go through. So I like the fact that the theme really is... The mechanics of the theme really go well. The other thing that I really like about the game is kind of the deluxe aspects of it. So for this game, coming back to the theme, your individual health counters are empty bullet casings. I mean, how cool. How many games most times you get health counters, you get wooden whatever, or you get little...
Cardboard
cutouts.
You get tokens. Yeah. So it's kind of industry standard, so I love that the attention to detail was paid in these components. It really makes the game kind of come to life. I like the new box that the game's coming in. Make sure to check out their Kickstarter for the white hat and the black hat boxes. The Aegis Reliquary boxes are really cool. They're very pretty. They've got great shelf presence. And the fact that Bill and Conrad went so far into this... I mean, Bill's got stuff planned out, I'm sure years in advance.
Millennia.
He's like Bill is that guy. Which really works which is really cool because you know that when you purchase this game, you've got so much more coming down the road for the game. It's not going to be you pick up... It wasn't for Gunslinger. It wasn't I'm picking up the game and that's it. Now you've got Gambler coming out.
I like how they mentioned that they're gonna try to incorporate a community with that as well. If they try to get people together
Absolutely.
and have kind of like almost an ongoing effect to the game IRL style.
Absolutely, and that brings us back to your white hat and your black hat choices, guys. Make sure you check out the Kickstarter to see images of those boxes. They're very nice. You're going to be a bad guy, you're going to be a good guy.
I like how you pointed to me when you said the bad guy.
I mean, seriously,
Absolutely.
That was even a guess. And you're going to get special abilities for what you pick. And then that choice there is going to lead on to this IRL community that goes. So I love that you're not just picking up a game, you're picking up a series of events.
Absolutely. Going to what's included in the game as well, I know one thing that you enjoy, they did provide a quick reference guide on the back of some of the cards. So
Yeah.
Joshua, if you could pull that out, I could show it off on the card cam really quickly for everyone.
I absolutely love quick reference guides. I think I glanced at it once this time, which actually speaks a lot to the game. So when you're first picking up the game, and I'm jumping into, well, I'm not even sure about that. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot more to take in than how complicated the game actually is. When you talk about the instructions, it's more makes the game sound more complicated than it actually is. We played Gunslinger a couple of times, a couple of months ago.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you guys know that if we're playing games, we're usually streaming it, so haven't really had an opportunity to pick up another game for, just to play with us.
So it was a little bit of getting your feet wet again, but it was the riding your bike aspect of it.
I looked once maybe at the quick reference guide just to make sure that I could keep up with the game. It's not a difficult game to understand after you get going, or even if you put down the game for a while and pick it back up.
Very cool. Let's see, what else did I want to talk about? I really do enjoy Western style skins to games, just stuff in general. I really like the Western style theme. At first, I wasn't sure if I agreed with you on if the Gambler was more thematically tuned than Gunslinger was.
Okay.
But as you started talking about it, with the beer was interesting. I like that, but just that one card by itself makes it awesome. I really do like the Bar Drag, thank you. Even though it didn't come up quite enough. I like also the Sucker Punch card. I think that's an interesting mechanic. Well, yeah, and if it happened to me twice, I would have been upset. But the fact that I got it is interesting, and I think it's kind of cool that it's before the game starts. I'm just like, nah, you're getting the damage. You can't block this, and you just use it as kind of a screw you to someone in the beginning. Mm-hmm. I think it might be. I think that there's a bunch of them in the game. Well, granted, we played with 2 decks also, so I have to take that into account.
The last time.
Yeah, so we had 2 of them, and then Bill had 2 in that one game. So there was 4 damage going up at the very beginning, and that was just like, whoa. It was a little overwhelming, but again, we were playing with 2 decks and 5 people with that, so that's a little on the extreme side of things. But I thought that was an interesting mechanic to add in.
I think you guys covered most of everything.
I talk a lot, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You do. Chatty Cathy.
So I don't know if I have anything I thought. I mean, it was fun. Besides the first game where I died in the first round, that was...
No, that was a lot of fun.
I mean, that's because, I sucker punched you, then I shot you.
And I had no defense.
No, and then you countered me. I know you hit me, and then I countered the hit to hit you again, because why not? Why wouldn't I do that?
And I like that Ms. Frightful said, yes, bullets in your ears is a thing.
Excuse me?
Chat just confirmed that it was a thing.
Hmm. I'm not exactly sure what you're saying there.
So, do you want to go to the next topic?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, jumping back a second, it is interesting too that it's a standalone expansion to the 2 of them. That it's you can play either or separately or together.
Yeah,
that's an interesting concept as well. I do like that.
Bill made a very good point. I think he worded it very carefully that the deck alludes to the fact that there is another game, and you saw that a lot with Gunslinger. I remember we were asking questions during Gunslinger. Hey, there's this note here about punching, but in Gunslinger you're not punching anything. What's going on? You can still use that card, but it had an extra oomph.
Right,
if you're playing it with the Gambler card.
And Conrad was much sneakier in the way that he played, I think, than Bill. Bill was very upfront, and I'm just going to do a bunch of damage.
It's like, I'm doing 5 damage, 6 damage.
Conrad's just like, I got a couple beers and a good book lined up. And
here's 9 points of damage, goodbye.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what did you not? What was not your favorite part of the game?
We said this before. The art. I would love to see that box, the box that they showed off on the actual card. Like,
Ooh, yeah,
that box
art
art
would be really
was
nice on the.
amazing. The logo was amazing on it. And if that was actually on the cards, and then some of the art was worked on the cards,
Right.
it would have looked a lot nicer. And just have that appeal. That's this game's big. And we said this during gameplay too.
But for those of you that haven't seen the
Yes.
Gunslinger,
Or Gunslinger.
I do. I still have the same gripe. Sorry, guys. I don't like text on the card. I was thinking about it while we were playing the game.
Yeah.
I don't like the font on the card. I think the cards could look nicer. I like the fact that we're not seeing the, what is it called? The like a real card deck box. There's a name for it.
Deck box? The tuck box?
Thank you. That we're not seeing the tuck box here, that what's being displayed, what's being talked about is the
I want
Aegis
the deck.
Reliquary box, because I think that I'm not a fan of the art on the tuck box. I think that if you just looked at the tuck box,
I could put that under the card cam too.
you
if
would
want.
miss a really great game underneath of it.
That's interesting word screening. But yeah, that's the
Purple clouds.
artwork on the tuck box itself.
And I think the font they use is thematic. It's just not legible that well.
Yeah, it's a little hard to read in some instances.
I thought about it though, and I was like, well, they can't really make the Gambler cards look super different now from the Gunslinger cards, but I think if they re-released both games and
Yeah.
updated the art on both together, that would be cool.
Yeah, it would be.
I think one thing that I'd like to add, that for the future projects that they have coming out, or for the future stuff, expansions for this
Yeah.
game, that I'd love to see more pictures on cards. There's a lot of cards that are just text, and I like pretty pictures. I know that's a skill card, but like the defense cards, I don't know. I feel like I'd like a little pretty picture there, just to spice it up a little bit. No?
What kind of a pretty
I
picture?
don't know. I was thinking
Someone
that
slipping
too.
a punch or something?
Yeah, maybe like someone like
Action scenes. Maybe.
What's the difference between a slip and a bob and a counter attack and a duck and weave and you're a lily-livered coward?
that could be someone like accusatorily pointing.
The
at
Bob would be a picture of a guy named Bob. Of
Yes,
course.
it would.
Ridiculous.
Yes, it would.
There are gonna actually be live motion pictures on the cards.
Now
and-
that would be
and then they
cool
move.
if they made noise and we want to do new art and re-release.
Okay,
the
so
game.
yeah, Bill and Conrad are saying they want to do a new art re-release on the game. So that's cool.
But yeah, but no, that's my biggest. It's what we said last time was we had a lot of fun with the game. It's a very good, quick filler game. That's what it is, and it's really good at what it does.
I had a lot more fun playing with 5 people this time than I did playing with you 2 losers.
Yeah. One thing I love the gun shells. I feel like they're slightly out of place with Gambler because we're punching each other.
No,
I kind of
don't
want.
even care.
Kind of want a bag of teeth, which would be funny, but I don't. That might be a little bit hard to get.
Real teeth.
Real teeth. Or bottle caps, since we are drinking beers.
Ooh, bottle cap.
I think that theme-wise would be
idea.
cool.
that would
'Cause,
be awesome.
I mean, bullet shells are awesome, but we're not shooting any guns here, so.
But bottle caps would be awesome.
Okay, let me clarify that. My opinion on that. I think the bullet shells are so cool that I don't even care that it doesn't really go with the punch theme.
I don't
But
care.
if we had bottle caps as an option also, that would be awesome.
Or poker chips. Someone in the chat brought up.
Poker chips?
Just to point out that it is intended to also be an expansion with Gunslinger.
Right,
Bill and
but it
Conrad.
is a standalone expansion.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the only
So they have
reason
the-
that I
If
would
you got
suggest
gun,
that.
you've got gun shells
Like
in
an
that one,
add-on
and then this one you
option?
got bottle caps. You
caps.
can mix the two of them too, and
That
just
would-
have a bunch of
But
cool.
you never know too. You could be in an old timey saloon, and there was just a gunfight that happened. Now you're all punching each other, but there's some spent casings on the floor, and but they're saying that poker chips are another option we're looking at.
But no, that would just be fun thematic. Like I understand like why they have the gun shells,
yeah,
and that's not a. It's not a negative. It's just like it would be really cool
An
if
add-on.
it was something slightly different for the expansion.
One thing that we did mention last time that I definitely want to bring up again, just because the thing is still, the situation is still there, because we mentioned it in Gunslinger, I feel like for those of you looking at Gambler independently, which you totally should be doing, there was an issue, there was a comment last time about the colors for the names. So the type of items are color-coded. Your items are green, attacks are red, defense are blue.
To be completely honest, I don't think I even registered that in my head.
I didn't think so either, but I think we were talking about the issue with being colorblind and you not being able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I think it was the red and green.
Yeah.
I felt
it didn't
myself...
matter. But it didn't matter so much because it says attack or it says item.
Yeah.
But I know that last time we brought it up and we bring it up, we it's one of the specific attributes that we particularly look for as Twist Gaming. And I did just want to point out that there are some not colorblind friendly color coding being used for the item names.
Yeah. But they're at least labeled so you can get around it. But that quick color reference doesn't work for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even looking at the colors.
Yeah, I don't think that even registered. I found myself reading the actual text right underneath that to get that most of the time.
I found myself reading it even more when we were playing with both Gunslinger and Gambler because I needed to know whether I was playing a ranged attack or a brawl card.
So having played both Gunslinger and Gambler separately from each other, I get that you could put them together. I wasn't the biggest fan of putting them together. I preferred playing either one separately, to be honest. And I think it's just because there's a little much going on for my personal taste there when you combine them. And I think I actually like Gambler by itself standalone more than Gunslinger. I really enjoyed the whole stacking of the combinations and the theme, as you were saying as well. I think they flowed really nicely together. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion there.
And talking about, we were looking at the cards and stuff, it would be nice to have some kind of icon on there showing ranged and
Ooh, yeah.
and melee.
Especially
Instead
now.
of
Because you
reading
do
it.
have the hearts and the shields for attack and defense. But if there was something on there that kind of quickly indicated as a picture, would be also nice.
So ranged, I would assume you would use something like a target.
Crosshairs or a bullseye.
Crosshair, target.
What do
and
you
then
use
could
for-
do like a fist or
Yeah, you
something.
could do like a front profile of a
get
fist. Or you can do, I don't know, like maybe like the starburst looking design, like if someone gets
The
socked
POW?
in the face. Yeah, like a POW.
Batman POW?
Yeah, Batman POW. Biff.
Zip. Zap.
There you go. Onomatopoeia. Anne, how about you? I know you mentioned some things already.
How about me? Oh, I was all over the board with my review. I like it. Things that I would change?
If given the opportunity.
I think I mentioned a lot of things. My big one where Bill and Conrad have already mentioned that they're looking at is the art. Like I said, my biggest thing is I feel like, unfortunately, the art, for somebody like me, who's a player like me, who really likes pretty games, I think that the art on this particular game might be enough to stray you from wanting to pick up this game over another game, and you'd miss out on a really cool game.
I think the one thing with art is like also like if you look at Kickstarter and stuff, if it doesn't draw you in visually, you're probably not going to read enough and look into it enough. Be like, yeah, this looks like something.
It's the passing glance effect.
Yes.
So
but the game itself is a lot of fun. I like the mechanic where you're holding up everything. I like that it's fast paced. It's kind of like a fight. I absolutely like that the mechanics are really like, it's like a fight. Conrad had a movie in his head, so he says, and he turned it into a game. And I like that it started off as a story because you can take from that story.
Right.
And okay, well, what mechanics do we make for this story to turn it into a game? Kind of engineering it that way rather than, hey, this is a cool mechanic. Let's build a theme on top of it.
Well, like how what Bill and Conrad were saying before when we were interviewing them about the cards, they had both instances where we need a card that does this.
Yeah.
What should we call it?
Yeah.
And we want to include a dip card or a jab card. And so how do we word that? So it went both ways with that, and I think that was accentuated by the fact that it was presented in their heads as like a story as well.
Anything else, guys?
I think
Did you see how cute my hat was? And my belt?
So I think that's it for me, but the most important question of all is to come, and that is, would you play it again? So Josh, you first.
Yeah, I would play this again. Besides the flaws we said, it's still a fun game.
Right.
It just has that. It's hard to pick off the shelf for someone to do it, but definitely would play again.
Anne?
I would totally play the game. I would totally play the game again, and it's a game that I would take the time to teach somebody so that they knew how to play it, so that I could get to the point to play it really fast.
Right.
And with lots of people. I feel like the mayhem that would come with playing against 10 people would be a lot of fun. I'd have to figure out how to resolve things quicker, but I'm totally interested in doing that.
As for me, I would play this game again. I think I would play it again before I played Gunslinger again, as I kind of mentioned before. I think I enjoyed this one more, just because I liked the way that it played out. So, and just to rehash exactly the same thing that you guys said, the core of the game is strong, and I'd rather have a game with a strong core with not the greatest artwork compared to a game that's absolutely pretty, but it plays like a mess. So, because this is a very fixable issue in the grand scheme of things.
And it's not like once, I think that goes back to your passing glance comment. It's something at very first glance, and then you get past it and enjoy the game.
Absolutely. So is there anything else that you find folks would like to add?
No, I think that's it.
Again, did you see my hat?
We have seen that.
My
So
belt back up.
thank you all for joining us this evening. This has been another Twist Gaming presentation. If you haven't done so already, go check out our spotlight session of Gambler, the Gunslinger standalone expansion by BC Games Company. Other than that, thank you all for joining us this evening. Twist Gaming signing off. I'm Matt,
I'm Ann.
I'm Josh.
And I'm TP.
the disembodied voice of
There you
TK.
go.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
All right.